State lawmakers are facing a major deadline at the Iowa State House this week.
Yeah, bills have to pass through committee in either the House or Senate to stay viable for the rest of session.
KCCI chief political reporter Amanda Rooker joins us now. And Amanda, this is kind of a weeding out process for lawmakers.
Right. The goal of this final deadline is to kind of winnow down the number of bills that are left at the State House. But there are some exceptions to this final deadline. Bills related to tax and spending can be brought up at any time during session, regardless of what happens to them this week. Also, lawmakers in leadership roles can bring back supposedly dead bills in lots of ways, like adding them to amendments to other bills that do survive the deadline. So it's an important deadline, but what's dead is never really dead. So we'll be watching.
Okay, so a lot for you to continue to watch. We do know a lot of bills have already made it through committee, but again, some are up against this deadline. So what proposals are you still following that might not make it past this week?
There's at least 25 bills, Ben, that we've been covering and that I'm specifically tracking, which is a lot for lawmakers to work on in a limited time. Some of those bills are about things like immigration, some about education, some even about our environment. That includes Senate Joint Resolution 6. That would eliminate the Natural Resources and Outdoor Recreation Trust Fund. It would replace it with a property tax relief fund. And in subcommittee, that room was standing room only. There were so many people passionate on both sides of this, so that's one I'm watching. Another bill that's up against the deadline would allow public high schools to offer elective classes that teach the Bible. There are identical proposals in the House and Senate. Both of those still need to go through committee. And House File 62 would require pornography websites to verify that someone is over the age of 18 before allowing them access to their website. All of those bills have passed subcommittee. That's the first step in the legislative process, but they still need to be approved by the full committee. Now, some bills will need to go through both subcommittee and committee this week. That includes House File 423. That would make it illegal to manufacture, dispense, distribute the abortion pill mifepristone. If a doctor violated that rule, they could face up to 10 years in prison.
And Amanda, it seems as we've been watching this, most of the governor's priorities that she talked about in her condition of the state address have already made it through.
Yeah, and that doesn't always happen. And she did have a lot of priorities this year, but they have moved pretty fast in the legislative process. Some of those were major changes to child care, major changes to health care, a big energy bill. All three of those are already through committee. Cell phone restrictions in schools, and wanting government workers to all have paid parental leave. So some big proposals that have made it through. I do want to note, though, just because they've made it past committee doesn't mean they don't have farther to go. They need to pass through both the House and Senate in order to officially go to the governor's desk.
All right, so a lot to keep track of. And of course, we'll know a whole lot more by the end of this week. Amanda, thank you.